This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes, facts,
Boots!
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, Superman speeding bullets.
Get ready for the welcome in game.
Welcome into
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by the marvelous one, Mr. Mike. Mike, how you doing today?
Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hope you're enjoying this
I don't know what that noise
Thanksgiving
was.
season.
It's yeah,
It's
it
almost
is.
Turkey Day.
I mean, a couple.
Get
weeks.
ready.
Yeah,
Stuff your turkey.
sounds a little sexual.
Put your forward your mail.
Sounds a little sexual.
Change your phone number.
Doesn't. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, what is the greeting for Thanksgiving?
happy
I mean, it's just Happy Thanksgiving.
I think
There's
so,
really
right?
not, like if you
Gobble
talk,
gobble.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like if you talk about Christmas, there's always like season's greetings.
Yeah.
There's Happy Yuletide. There's
Do you ever
know,
tell anybody Happy Yuletide? Don't throw that
Oh,
out there as an
boy,
option.
do I.
No, you don't.
Oh, I say, how's your Yule log there, Fred? Yep, that's what
Are
I say.
you next to Fred at the urinal? Like, what?
It could be.
What is it? What is special about a
Fred's
Yule
next
log?
to me at the Euro.
Ooh, I got you. What is special about a Yule log?
Establish dominance is what you need to do from the get-go.
Fred, is there
Fred,
anything
look
wrong?
at me as I ask you about your Yule log.
Oh, wow. Okay, we've gotten off to a great start.
It's been a couple of
It
weeks.
has been.
Yeah.
Well, it's a perfect mix of
Hey,
just kind of absurdity.
just real quick.
when we get into
You want to tell
something.
people about the news?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll keep it under wraps. Good.
We need to. There's
Okay.
a reason why.
Just
I'll
in
tell
case.
you in a
Yeah,
bit.
I get it. Sure.
Yeah,
Do people listen to this show?
maybe.
Okay,
Hey,
great.
I don't know.
That's the first time this has been a problem.
I don't know who
that
the-
people listen to this show. Before now, we're like,
I don't know.
fuck
Who,
it.
I don't know who the 7 of them are.
I get
Like,
it. Sure.
You know, I
sure.
got to roll the
It's
one of
number
them might
6.
be
Number 6 you got to worry about.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was probably Fred after you
Fuck.
asked him about his
Put
show.
up that log, Fred. Get out of here.
No. So today we've covered these things before. These elseworlds stories, which are
Yeah.
essentially like, what if? I think I'm trying to think the ones we covered before, and I'm blanking on them all together. Oh, what if? We did Superman 3000, where
Yeah.
remember he
Yeah.
woke up in the
Yeah,
future and
was goofy.
Batman was dead and he
Yeah.
had to kill Hitler twins with machine guns.
Sure.
Remember that?
Yes, I do. And it was
Okay.
bad. Yeah.
There's also other Elseworlds that
Well,
are
I mean,
more
you could
interesting.
consider like the cartoon crossovers, kind of Elseworlds
Yeah,
stuff.
in a way, it's a lot of Gotham by Gaslight, which is like a
Oh, yeah.
Batman set during Jack the Ripper. That's
Yeah.
another story that happened like that. I believe there's stories with Batman and Dracula, things like it's essentially like these.
Your hair's getting really long.
It is.
You know that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I've thought about cutting it. But
Okay.
then I've
I'm not judging at all. I'm just saying it's getting long.
No, it is. Like I've never had it this long.
Really?
I've said that like we could have said that months ago.
Yeah.
I just have never
Well,
had
good
long
for
hair.
you. Keep
And
going.
so that's part of it is like part of me is like, am I ever going to have long hair?
It's going to
again?
be winter time. You know, it's the perfect time to start
It
growing
is getting
out.
very annoying.
It's
though.
Thanksgiving, so I mean, you could. I don't know if
My hair-
that has to
I'm
do
blowing
with
my hair
hair.
down.
But
Anyway, what we have
Pilgrims
today,
had long hair.
what we have today is an Elseworld story called Superman Speeding Bullets. But who was on the cover of Superman
I'd be
Speeding
Batman.
Bullets? So I'm not going to give away what this one is. I'll just go ahead and dive
It's a very
into
stained copy you got there.
coffee.
There's a lot of stains on that sucker.
It's printed. It's only through the first. Hold on,
I don't. It's fine. Whatever.
It's just in the crease.
It's just a print
It's
anyway, so it
just-
doesn't matter.
yeah. It's just gonna affect its resale
That-
value.
I'll say. Remind me to say something about the printing after.
I did this.
No. I know you did. It's great. It's great. I'm just saying, coming things may stop that.
Oh, well,
May not have access to that.
well, no. That's I have.
Yeah.
I have a my
Big
little,
printer at the house.
Well, no, I have my little iPad thing. that I've used before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, that's
it
perfect.
It just wasn't charged, so I wasn't able to bring it. But
Yeah.
so let's get into Superman Speeding Bullets by J.M.D. Mateus and Eduardo Barreto.
DeMatteis.
The art is
Rock me, DeMatteis.
I had no problem with the art throughout the whole thing. We'll just get into the story.
Yeah.
So
This is beautiful. This opening page, where
very
it's
much
like,
so.
yeah, I guess that's blowing up Krypton.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is also 1993. I was trying to figure out the year.
Okay.
I'm just going to paraphrase because I read this
man.
all today as we go through, and then we'll find a halfway stopping point while we get through this epic tale. So yeah, we get the story of the spaceship leaving Krypton and heading towards Earth. And it's this long kind of narrative about how it couldn't have happened, any other way, but the way it did. And we see first a man discovers the spaceship.
Yeah.
Very much so like Jonathan Kent does. And then a woman comes there behind him to notice it too. But we get the text.
It's not in farm field.
It's not in a farm field.
Yeah.
And then as they're standing there looking at the woman picking it up says, you're not going to believe, or excuse me, the man says, you're not going to believe this to his wife. But the woman says, a baby, our baby. And then we see a speech bubble overhead that says, excuse me, Dr. Wayne, Mrs. Wayne, but if this means that we won't be continue our journey upstate to the governor's campaign dinner, then perhaps we should set off the car because gasoline is getting quite expensive.
Sure.
And that is Alfred. So,
good tip, Alfred.
Yeah. So the Waynes are the two who have discovered
Yeah.
the crashed Kryptonian spaceship instead of the Kents in a Kansas field. It is now landed in Gotham.
The picture of the baby up here, it that always reminds me of like the original Superman movie. I'm a huge fan of that movie.
We're talking about the Richard Donner.
Yeah,
first one?
I think Superman 1 and Superman 2 are some of the best comic book movies that have ever been made.
They're really good.
And it's just because maybe the graphics aren't the best and things like that, but the story is excellent. The people that are in it are perfect for the roles. Even what's-his-face is Lex Luthor. He's great.
Gene Hackman?
Yeah, he's great as Lex Luthor.
We get then kind of a story of the childhood of young Bruce because he is still named. Why would the Waynes name him, Clark?
No.
If they were going to name their kid Bruce, they'd still name him Bruce.
Yep.
So this this crash landed alien baby is now named Bruce Wayne, and he is their kid.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to see that his mom cared for him a lot and kind of brought for him to see the good in people and, kind of build his heart to be just this really sweet and caring young man, while his dad was very much concerned about his academics and always being so smart. And, bullies will try to, use force to bully people. You should be better than that kind of thing. Then we get, because what kind of Batman story would it be if we didn't get another retelling then?
Clutching the pearls.
Of the Wayne's deaths.
Yep.
And it's the same way as it is in everything else. They go out to a movie. It's the Mask of Zorro again, just like it is. And a lot of the other tellings of this story.
Oh, it is still Mask of Zorro.
And so they are stopped in the alley by Joe Chill again, who is, kind of ruthless. He goes to grab Martha's pearls. Thomas kind of pushes him off.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots Thomas. Kind of then turns to shoots Martha. Bruce, obviously seeing his parents shot. This was a very kind of there's a lot of violence that didn't seem I don't know. Anyway, so he turns to shoot Bruce because let's not go ahead and murder the child here too.
No.
And while he's sitting here crying,
that is the one thing you got to give to Joe Chill. Every telling. At least he doesn't kill the kid.
Yeah, well, except now.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying is, so he's crying and he goes, he essentially wants to stop the kid from crying and he turns and he shoots him and he hits Bruce right in the chest.
Oh, but he's Superman, so it bounces off.
Yes. And instead it fills him with anger and he kind of uses it causes his, what would you call it? His heat vision.
I kind of like that though.
His
his heat vision.
There you go. To
laser vision,
whatever it is,
Univision,
and it hits Joe Chill straight in the face, who runs away, kind of caught on fire.
He just his head's on fire.
As he goes back, Bruce goes back to just crying over his dead parents. They talk about how when the police get there,
I can 100% tell you that this is a great match. I don't know how this thing's going to turn out, but that is a great idea to mash those two characters together like that. Because honestly, their backstories do kind of weave together at a certain point. That's cool. Anyway, I'm a fan so far.
There's good and bad about this.
I'm sure,
and we'll get to some of this. So
still wears his underwear on the outside of his.
No, and so they talk about when the cops get there that he's still just, sobbing, that he acted like a zombie, that he would walk by and he wouldn't even notice they were there. All he kept saying was, "The bullets." The bullets.
The bullets.
The bullets.
The bullets.
The bullets. That's the Elmer Fudd one.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway.
Wasn't there one where, I swear I've seen this, where Elmer Fudd is like the guy in Apocalypse Now? Oh, Dahawa.
Probably.
That guy, I don't know where I saw that. Anyway,
I don't know.
All right, sorry.
We saw him in Batman fight.
Oh, yeah. Dahawa.
We see then a young Bruce kind of grow up and to a young 20-something-year-old man.
Sure.
And every night when he gets the paper, it's just more depressing news about Gotham that kind of just causes him to spiral a bit more. We also get note on the, they make a note of it in the panel, so we'll also bring it up, that on the cover of the Gotham Gazette, there is a headline that Luthor, as in Lex Luthor, is coming to Gotham. 1 year after a near-fatal accident, the famed industrial emerges from seclusion. So he's kind of been in hiding. We don't know why, but he's coming back to Gotham.
Old Clark has become a strapping young lad.
Bruce.
Bruce. He's become a strapping young lad.
It is a little
He looks like
confusing, that
Superman, but
yeah. So Bruce takes the paper that has the story of another, homicide, someone gunned down.
It says twin deaths.
And he opens this kind of secret door of his, and you can see like newspaper clippings taped all on the wall. It's like this little shrine that he has, and it's just too much kind of for him in that moment. And he's overtaken by everything of like, why is there just so much awful stuff that happens in this place?
Very Batman.
And he notices then other voices that aren't like in his head of him like, I'm having a panic attack. They're coming outside from the room. And we see that there are masked kind of henchmen that have broken into Wayne Manor. And they have, I'm blanking, they have Alfred at gunpoint. And they tell Bruce to, they don't want any problems. Bruce, in his manic kind of state that he's in, snaps a bit, throws one of the bad guys out the window of Wayne Manor, breaks another one's wrist. And the third one, who was on Alfred, he grabs, and he has another moment of where the heat vision is coming back, kind of like he's so angry that it triggers it, and he notices it, and he kind of catches himself again and throws, as you can see, like it hits him at first, and then he throws him out of the way and just does it right into the fire. But it kind of flashes back all these memories of the night of his parents' death.
Sure.
And so it's a lot for him as he yells out, I remember. So Alfred tells him.
That's weird. That's how I finished. Sorry.
So Alfred.
she always says, what do you remember?
I remember Gattaca.
All of it, Gattaca,
I'm Spartacus.
And then it's weird because somebody else in the room stands up and says, I'm Spartacus. Yeah. I'm like, who the hell is this?
So Bruce remembers that he can shoot flames or heat vision out of his eyes.
Yeah.
And Alfred decides, hey, it's probably about time that I then show you this, a spaceship that your dad kept down here.
Yeah, let's take a look at the spaceship.
All of his journals and everything that, to know about you.
Take a look at the spaceship.
While he's down there looking at everything, he finally feels alive for the first time. He feels like he can relate to the bats down there, right?
Oh, there you go.
So there is still a connection to the bats. It goes into a little bit more.
So instead of a bat flying in the window or the other way,
he's down there. Yeah, as he goes down there and he's like noticing all of his, new powers and stuff. Yeah. It's dark, so like Alfred can't see everything around there, and he goes, There's my answer to Alfred, up there whirling in the darkness. Can you see them? Can you see my brothers? No, of course you can't, but I can. I can see things, hear things that no one else can. Like, I guess he's talking about his sense,
Sure.
So he picks
They
off.
pan up, and there's just a bunch of wiener dogs hanging from the ceiling. My brothers.
We then cut to a pair of the baddies who broke into Wayne Manor earlier.
Oh boy,
who
we're
are
fixing to get somebody we know.
Who are meeting somebody who
with
has hired them.
Just happens to have purple gloves.
Yeah, happens to have purple gloves and tells them, "You guys failed. You were just supposed to scare Bruce Wayne kind of more into hiding. He's already a recluse enough." And they're like, but you don't know what he did to us. Like, they did all this, and they just hear excuses because they're standing in front of a desk with the desk chair trying to turn to their back, or to the back of the chair turned to them, so they
villain
can't see.
style.
Yeah, but the voice is coming from there, and then like they give their excuses, and he says, "I'm tired of excuses," and we see the two guys panic a bit about where the voice came from, and out of the darkness you see the two purple gloves both clasping around each of their necks and lifting them up off the ground as he chokes them and laughs maniacally as he says, "You guys were paid up front. What's the matter, boys? All choked up?" And then there's a massive laugh, and that is very much a villain.
And he tittles.
We are used to
for a bit.
He tittles?
I'm tittling. Wow. Yeah, that's a scary dude, man, if you think of Superman in the Batman suit.
Yes.
Because he's got all the tools, but then he's got all the powers.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Well, that's not who we were just talking about.
No. We're talking about the Joker. Yeah.
Yes. It is alluded to because you see the red lips, purple gloves.
Yeah.
We then get told this very sad kind of. See, here was one thing.
How disappointed would you be if it's not the Joker at that
Calendar
point?
Man.
Yeah, it's just this guy. Polka dot man.
It then says 2 months later, and then it said his name is Mick Johnson, 45 years old, divorced, unemployed, seriously depressed.
Lead singer of the Rolling Stones.
No, seriously depressed. The psychiatrist report said he'd been horribly abused as a child, that he'd repressed his anger, pushed it down, where it festered for years and years. But anger needs expression.
Yeah, it does.
And that night, Mick Johnson had expressed 6 innocent people, 2 of them policemen, into the hospital.
And that's the night that Paint It Black was written. Yeah.
But it's just very much like I don't know why, it had a very 90s kind of just.
It does kind of, yeah.
So,
it's got that foreboding kind of, yeah.
Anyway, so this gunman our sniper is kind of taking people out. Batman arrives.
That is a badass looking Batman.
That is a really cool looking Batman.
That is a scary looking Batman.
That says he had to be stopped.
You see that dude come at you, you are in trouble.
He doesn't have.
I like the way, like at the top, it's almost like the Bat Out of Hell Meatloaf cover kind of thing with the wings.
Yes,
you know?
No, I do love the way this
special
Batman
stuff, all of that kind
very
of thing.
much so. Yeah. Also, a thing about this Batman is you always think of Batman with the cowl and it's open at the bottom.
Yeah.
This is pulled all the way through down.
Oh, it's a full mask.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, like, I can't. It's kind of hard to tell.
That's all right. We'll see it in a minute.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
So
Batarang.
Yeah. So Batman battles the sniper here.
Okay.
And ends up getting the best of him. He hurls him apparently without effort off the top of which would make sense because he's Superman.
Yeah.
Off the top of the building, and he thinks that he's just going to let him fall to his death, and he just catches him right at the end and drops him right into the cop's hands, and then kind of zooms out of the way.
Because I mean, traditionally, Batman and Superman both, in normal stories, normal worlds, they don't kill people.
No,
neither one of them.
No.
So it's always these one-offs or this weird, like you were saying, the other worlds and stuff like that.
Where we get things like
those
that.
are the ones where they're killing.
They could be, yeah. But he stops him right at the end, drops him right to the cop's arms.
Yeah.
We get the headline the next day in the paper, Flying Batman Stops Midtown Sniper. We zoom out to be inside of a court or a boardroom where Lex Luthor has made an appearance. He's there now.
Okay.
We can see that he is wearing purple gloves.
Oh.
I mean, I'm pointing that out, but it does make sure to point out that you see purple gloves there too.
Oh.
But it's regular Lex Luthor. No, So,
Well, it does make sense. If we're mashing these two guys together, then maybe the other two need to be mashed together.
and he is going on this little spiel talking about my signature on this paper will go ahead and relieve you all of the burden of managing Wayne Enterprises. Like he's staging a buyout of Wayne Enterprises. That's why he's in Gotham. When as he's about to, we see off panel someone say, in other words, you'll own Gotham the same way you own Metropolis. Sorry, Luther. And Luther kind of is like perks up and is angry and he's like, well, who in the world are you?
Mhm.
And we get, but you're not, that's not happening. Like you're not doing this. And Alfred's behind him and goes, sir, this is, Bruce Wayne. Like when he walks in and he tells him, I don't remember approving this buyout. You're not taking my company. I've decided that from now on, I'm taking over the day-to-day. So what you wanted to do and take over Wayne Enterprises isn't happening. I'm still keeping it. Thank you, sir. You can see yourself out, kind of. Which does not make Lex Luthor very happy.
Oh, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, he tells him, like, I haven't moved my corporate seat to this rat hole of a city so that I could oversee the territory here. And he tells him that, he goes, Bruce looks at Lex and goes, Mr. Luthor, I read with great compassion about the explosion at your chemical factory last year, how you almost died, kept yourself hidden away for months, how finally you emerged from your seclusion and resumed your life in the world. I truly respect your courage. I hope you respect mine. And he turns around and leaves to tell him that, hey, that deal's done. And Lex is just left there kind of fuming. So we have now a Batman, a Bruce Wayne, who is this vigilante type Batman character, who has also decided now that instead of being a recluse, because somebody tried to threaten his family and he snapped from seeing all the carnage still around him, decided that he does need to be Batman and he does need to use his position in the city to do stuff in some way to make the city better. That is going to be a great halfway point for us because we will go ahead and get into the final part of it after this to see exactly what the big villain is in this whole thing. But we will be right back after this.
Bye, guys. See ya.
And we're back.
We are. Hey, before we get back into this, I want to ask you a quick question. I've never asked you or Mason this. As you're reading through these comic books, I know that they play out kind of like TV shows, movies, or whatever, right? Because that's kind of the way they're framed. Do you think about it in your head as that, as you're kind of going through these? Is it like a movie or a TV show as you're kind of reading through it? Because I know, like, anytime I read a book, like if I'm reading fiction or whatever, it always plays out in my head, and I see the characters as a certain way. In this, the characters are predefined for you.
Yeah.
But the action, I would think, would be playing out.
So here's how, in a way.
Yeah.
If I'm reading the single issues for sure, just because there can be cliffhangers at the end of every one because it's just setting up for you to read the next issue, just like
Sure.
So I don't know if I necessarily go in and I'm like, all right, this is, act 1, this is act 2. Like I enjoy it, but yeah, no, I definitely can view it as like a TV show there for the single issue. Things like these are those weird kind of like Netflix and Prime Video movies that are like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're not long enough to be like the full movies.
Sure.
And they're not always the best, but every now and then there's a gem in there that I'm kidding.
Yeah, absolutely. Skinamarink.
No, but I think like the 64 page, there are some really good stuff, but I think it's more of just like the very short kind of movies.
Well, I
and
would
then
think
you have
these one-offs like this definitely lend themselves to that in your head. And plus, you and he watch a lot of more of the animated content, so I'm sure it's easy to see it as that in your head.
And then the bigger collection of like the full. See, it's weird because like I can have I talk about how a collection of like individual issues can be like TV shows.
Yeah.
But if you have it all together, I think it depends on how the book is done because some books, even though it's issue to issue, you can pick them up and read, and they flow so well that it feels just like it's a long, extended movie. And then others, it feels like there's definitely like difference between different parts, so it does feel like there's still a break in between episodes.
I know there's been stuff made out of it, but like the first time I read Dark Knight Returns or something like that, you know, even though it's the compendium, it's the whole thing, it still felt like a movie as you're reading it, you know?
Yeah.
Same deal with Akira.
Yes.
Akira always felt like a movie before they made the movie.
See, okay.
You know?
I've only ever seen the movie.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, the movie's great. It really is.
I just love the visuals of it. Another thing, though, just kind
That's
of
the nice thing about movies. You can see the visuals.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Is what I will also do is I have defined voices in my head for characters as well.
Very much so.
When I read them, and I can tell you anytime I see the Joker or Batman, it's always Mark Hamill for the Joker, and it's always Kevin Conroy for Batman, just because I watched the animated series for so long.
Stuff,
that's what I see. And there's other things like that you just kind of have a set voice in
I mentioned the Superman movie, the Richard Donner stuff. It's always Christopher Reeve in my head every time I see Superman. And so that's why Henry Cavill, whatever, you can take a flying leap. I don't care.
He's very attractive.
He's nuts anyway.
Is he?
Yeah. Didn't he eat toes? Oh, no, that's Hammer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not MC Hammer.
Army Hammer. Yeah.
All right, let's get back into the story. So
the Lone Ranger eats toes. Not Superman.
But Bruce Wayne has taken some of his money and he's bought the Gotham Gazette, and he's hired Perry White and Lois Lane and the entire staff from the
Daily Planet.
Because Lex Luthor essentially found out that Lois wrote a story about how he might have had his parents killed. He lost the libel suit of it too.
Yeah.
Couldn't get them to stop running the story, so he bought the paper and forced them to stop it.
That's what all megalomaniacs do.
So,
Daily Bugle is Spider-Man's paper.
Yes, Daily Bugle is
Planet
Spider-Man.
is Superman's paper.
Yes.
Got it.
You are correct.
Okay. Just making sure.
So that is why the whole staff is there at the Gotham Gazette. We also get a scene of where Bruce is taken aback by Lois. Like he bumps in and he spills coffee. So we're still going to get the love angle between the two of them.
Has Lois always been a brunette?
Well, she's always
Is she always
hair.
a brunette?
I don't know about a brunette. It might have been more like,
almost like
black.
Yeah.
But she's always had dark hair. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who's the one
in the comics?
Who's the blonde?
Lana. Well, no, Lana Lang had. I thought she had dark hair too.
Maybe she's redheaded. Maybe it's dark red or something. I thought there was a blonde. Maybe I'm thinking of Archie comics. I don't know.
Silver St. Cloud has blonde hair.
I don't know.
But that's with Batman.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Good enough.
So.
She's a little more shapely in this one than I've seen her before, too.
Yeah, I never noticed until right now, too. I didn't earlier. It is snowing outside, is it not?
It is.
And she is wearing a mini skirt.
She is, yes.
Now, here's the thing about Lois Lane as a character, at least from what I've always known, and she is supposed to be this award-winning journalist.
Margot Kidder.
Very smart, just very, take care of her own kind of, she is smart enough to know not to wear a mini skirt while it's snowing outside.
Well, again, in my head, she's always Margot Kidder, right?
Yeah.
From the Superman movie.
Yeah.
And
or Terry Hatcher, oddly enough.
She's not, well, that's different.
But it is, no, I'm with you.
Yeah.
It is more Margot Kidder.
Yeah. Not crazy Margot Kidder hiding in the bushes, but before she went nuts. And she's not, she was pretty, but she wasn't like this big, buxom, starlet kind of thing like they are in the comics.
No.
She was a down to earth reporter, dogged reporter.
Yeah, well, that's what, I don't know. Like, there's a quality about Lois Lane that is at least, I don't know. She's not supposed to be drawn up like that.
I don't think that's
she's
too much. Yeah, it's too much.
Not that she can't be. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah,
I know what you're saying. Like in these comics like this. Well, first thing when I see that, I think Nightcat, right, from the stupid comic that we did. But then that one will never be out of my brain. We just reran it a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, God, that sucks. I don't know. I think it gives disservice to her because she's drawn up as this pinup.
Well, here's the thing too, and part of it is and it's not an excuse. It's just how it is in the 90s. The 90s, especially in comics, women were drawn very much like I feel like everything in the comics, they're always extremely over sexualized. So it wouldn't make, it makes sense for Lois, even like, hey, we're going to update her. I feel like in the pitch meetings, like, hey, we need to update Lois Lane a little bit, make it a little bit sexy, you know, like,
and then they go too far. And then I'd also like to note that what's her name that was married to Dolph Lundgren's over there on a big old cell phone.
Oh, she was also with Flava Flav.
Yeah, what's her name?
Brigitte Nielsen.
Brigitte Nielsen over there on the giant cell phone.
Yeah,
the big brick.
Yeah, there she is.
Is this 93? You said
93.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so Lois is out on, I guess, headed to her apartment when Lex picks her up.
Brigitte Nielsen.
Where Lex picks her up and he's like, hey,
I don't know that we've ever brought up Flavor Flav on this show.
We have now.
Yeah. Flavor
Flav. I still am a big Public Enemy fan. Yeah. But Lex makes an advance on
Lois.
Thank you. And she gives him the good old kind of smack across the face.
His advances.
So he kicks her out in the middle of the street in the snow.
Why wouldn't he?
In a terrible part of town, 50 blocks away from her apartment.
Yeah.
But he's like, I'll win you over one day. Doing shit like that, you ain't.
No. Every time I've thrown a lady out of my car, they've not liked me very much.
Yeah, not at all.
Never done.
Batman shows up.
With heat vision.
Because they all kind of go to surround themselves and like, hey, pretty girl here.
Yeah, there's a bunch of punks that show up and they're coming after her.
Pretty girl, we have to go have our way with her. And Batman shows up to save her, but he is very, just kind of ruthless.
He's a badass.
Just so much aggression to the point where he's about to beat somebody like senseless until she kind of stops him from doing so. And he turns around to tell her, like, don't worry, scum, you're not worth it. Because he tells him, like, he puts his finger, he's holding him. I'll tell you this. He's holding the guy up by like this shirt collar. He puts his finger to his forehead and he tells him, one finger right through your head, splatter your brains all over the street. Very like Homelander, right?
Wow.
And the guy's like, please don't, like he's begging him for him. Please don't kill me. And he goes, don't worry, scum, you're not even worth it. And he just throws him down to the ground.
I had a teacher do that one time, put his finger like on my forehead and push my head back.
Oh, that's not nice.
I got up and I took those desks that are all one piece?
Yeah.
I took it and threw it across the room. I was not a good student.
I know, but why was he?
I don't know. I was probably drunk in math class or something. Who knows? Something like that.
Man, the 70s were weird. So
70s.
So he turns around then, Batman does, to help Lois up, and she swats his hand away. And she's
at
like,
least you didn't say 50s.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
And she swats his hand away, and she's like, get that the hell away from me. Like, I don't want, you're a crazy
Get away
person.
From me, you crazy bat person.
And so he kind of flies
That's what
away.
Anybody would say to a superhero the first time they saw him. You would be like, what the hell are you doing out here in public in a freaking cape?
Yeah, like he turns around and he's like, let me help you. After she just watched him, like, assault all these guys.
Get out of here.
And she's like, yeah, get that the hell away from me.
That's great.
And so he flies off. And she kind of watches them, and we kind of get like
Oh,
little tidbits of a story
he can
she's
fly
writing
too.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, and there you go. That's a good picture of how he has no.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I kind of like that Batman with no face.
So the little narration blurbs turn into like on a computer where she's typing up her story about how our world become so that's how
computer. Okay.
Has our world become so twisted, so violent that this is the kind of hero we produce? If it is, then God help us. God help the Batman most of all.
I love that it's that green screen too, and it's all reflected in the faces and the light in the room and stuff. It's cool.
Well, Bruce shows up because apparently she's the only one at the office typing this up because it's after it's happened.
Get off my computer.
And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I work better in the night because he's Batman."
Sure.
And she kind of tells him everything about what happened, and he's like, "But he saved you." And she goes, "Yeah, if you'd seen what his utter disregard for human life, a man like that with such power could do so much to better the world instead of adding to its pain." And he's like, "You think so?" And she goes, "Look at you." And he goes, "Me?" And she goes, "Your idealism, your dedication." Can you hear my voice? You know where this is headed, right?
Yeah.
The dedication.
It's headed to Smooch Town.
The way
Yeah.
the
Could have said
way-
Pound Town. I
yeah,
didn't. I
you know,
was
I like
trying to make it nice.
the way that you use your wealth for the smooch town.
There you
And then
go.
it just says weeks passed. So
They
now
smooched for weeks.
it just says
Holy
weeks
crap!
passed.
The canker sores on their lips are enormous.
Well, so weeks passed.
Oh shoot! I saw it. I like that.
And so and the Gazette has been gathering information on Lex Luthor. They're going to expose him. And so we see a guy that's hooded, like he's wearing a trench coat and he has this top hat in and he busts in and he's carrying an umbrella. And the woman there's like, sir, you don't have an appointment. That's Mr. Wayne's office. And he's just kind of like blowing by her through the bullpen of reporters there too. And he bursts into the room because Perry White says, I'm telling you, Bruce, you run that story and Luthor will sue your pants off. And Bruce says, I've got a closet full of pants, Perry. We're running it.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
I like that.
And
joke.
then he's like, the only thing you'll be running, Mr. Publisher, is your obituary.
Man, voices. You're
Uh,
doing voices. Good
Do you
job.
not- You're welcome.
The only thing you'll be running.
And then
Mr.
you hear
Publisher.
and you see that it's Lex Luthor
Yeah.
as he tips the hat off, but he throws it off and he kind of grabs and rips off a mask because he has the Joker's skin
That's what I was wondering.
underneath.
I didn't know if it was makeup and
It's
if
a
it was the white makeup
full-on
or if it was
mask.
the regular face makeup.
It's a full-on
It's a
just,
mask.
he's wearing a human skin mask.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's very Mission Impossible.
Yeah, but
you
he
know.
rips it off. He shoots Batman with his, he's confused.
He's got his umbrella.
He's confused because it's not the Joker who has the umbrella, it's Penguin who does.
Oh, that's true.
And so he shoots him with Penguin's umbrella gun, Bruce Wayne, and he grabs Lois and he kind of steals her out. But where is he going to go, Mike? He's in, the Gotham Gazette building. It's got to be, 16, 17 stories up in the air.
Yeah.
How's he going to get out of there?
Well, he's going to jump out the window, I'm
He
sure.
does jump out the window.
Yeah.
But how did he prepare for that, you ask?
Parachute?
With a go-go gadget helicopter.
Oh, shit. Come on. That comes out of his back? No, that's dumb. Come on.
Oh man, it just threw me off. So yeah, he's just
Aw.
holding her with just think about it. It's like he's wearing a little brace.
Yeah.
And he flies her just
That is so dumb. Come on.
over.
This was so good.
I know.
Oh.
This is the one part where I was like,
gadget.
oh man. Anyway, Batman goes over and he breaks it. He's like, this is stupid. And
I
he
was
breaks it off.
about to explain away the mask, and all that stuff because I've always hated that Mission Impossible where he pulls off the mask at the end and his head shaped completely different and
Yes.
everything, and he's got the little voice changer that changes his voice to. That's a Scooby-Doo move.
Yes, it
is what
is.
that is, and that's lazy writing is what that is. But I was going to say about this one, at least it's the same guy with a mask of his same face.
That's true.
It's just a different color, so at least it would fit,
Yes.
right? It wouldn't be all baggy and shit.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't necessarily have to change your voice.
No.
But now that he shot a propeller out of his back, that's different.
And he stole Penguin's umbrella gun.
Come on.
But-
I could get over that.
But Batman catches
Propeller out of your ass, that's different.
Batman catches him up to him, and he's like, he breaks the propeller off of him. Here's what else though I just noticed: he has he put the mask back on for one panel there, and then it's gone again. The coloring,
the Joker Luthor?
yeah. See, his,
Oh yeah, look at him.
but
Wait, I better. Oh, never mind.
we find out that apparently Lex Luthor just wanted to cause chaos. And he's just given all the money he can buy. He's buying a lot of guns and giving it to all these mercenaries that look like G.I. Joe
They look like
villains.
Autobots. Is what
Yeah.
they look like.
But he's just giving money to mercenaries to just go destroy Gotham,
Okay.
essentially.
Okay. To what end?
It says, it was then I realized that the Luthor this is Lois Lane's
Yeah, sure.
narration, I had known really did die in that chemical explosion. Not even he would have plunged Gotham into such a nightmare. A mercenary army supplied with guns, grenades, fire bombs, and anything else LexCorp money could buy, running
Grenadine.
wild in our streets. I did forget something that was really cool that I should have brought back up. You remember the sniper from earlier, his
Yeah.
first one?
Yeah.
the fight that they were having, there's a point where all the bullets are bouncing off of him. So he's like, well, you can't dodge this.
Sure.
This will kill both of us. And he pulls the pin on a grenade and he throws it at him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a part where he just holds it in his hand and
Holy
lets it
crap,
explode.
that is cool.
And as he just sits there, just kind of wiping the residue from his hands as he looks at the guy.
That's pretty awesome.
I forgot about the completely badass scene to try to, bring that back up as we're back to here.
This is a very cool idea, but it's that one thing of getting out of the building. That's what tripped up the whole thing.
He could have just gone back down that.
That's what I'm saying. Just go down the stairs. We can't use stairs in an emergency.
Or hear me out. Maybe the Gazette office is just like a couple floors from the roof, and he has a chopper on the top.
Anything other than a freaking propeller shooting out of your butt.
It wasn't his butt. It was his
whatever.
back.
It's close enough. Just lower back.
Yeah, Batman is obviously just so upset with all the destruction that Luthor's causing.
Like, even this is cool. Look at his cape.
Yes, he flies him up high in the sky, and he's like, essentially, I've done enough with you, you insufferable maggot. And he just throws him back down to Earth.
Oof.
Just hurls. But Lois sees and just says, no.
No.
Well, Bruce sees that she sees what he's done.
Oh, and he has to zoom
And he
down
zooms
and
down and he saves him and he's flying off and he goes, Luther
Then a jet engine comes out of his ass and he
zooms
flies
off.
across the sky.
And Batman tells Luthor, like, essentially, I'm taking you to jail.
Yeah.
And then he goes through and he cleans up all the mercenaries there in Gotham.
Sure. But wait, does he kill them?
Huh?
He
Yeah,
just
I
punches
know.
them real
He
hard.
just punches them real hard.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready for my second favorite thing that happens in
Please.
this? There's also a Zeppelin that drops bombs down.
A
right?
Zeppelin.
Isn't that what you would call
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And it drops bombs down, right? Well, Batman's trying to get rid of it. He takes care of one, but then, oh no, there's still bombs that are falling. How do you get rid of a bomb that's falling towards you, Mike? You kick it right back at it.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we all play kickball as kids.
Oh, well, you know what, though? I'm thinking of this. I take that back. I'm thinking of this as Batman. This is Superman. He could kick it right back at him.
Sure, he could.
But it is still funny that he
still
just kicked it right back.
a dumb-looking panel.
It just says, pook. And he kicks it right back at him.
It does
I
say
would think,
pook.
I would think that the force of his foot kicking it would cause it to explode.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway.
Kick softly and carry a big propeller.
It goes back. It explodes the other Zeppelin. Batman saves the day. They realize that
I am digging this hood, though.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I'll just go ahead and close it out with it says he scaled what you did tonight was, this is Lois and Bruce now talking, or Batman.
Mhm.
What you did tonight was different, not hate, not vindictiveness. With your power, there was so much more you can do. Instead of flexing your muscles, stooping to the level of the very people you were trying to stop, you can rise above all that and stand as an example, a symbol of hope. And Bruce replies, I don't have it in me to do that. I can't imagine his voice. He's doing the whole Batman voice probably.
I can't have it.
And she goes, the Batman doesn't, but Bruce Wayne does. And then in the box underneath it, it says, when did I realize it? Maybe not till that moment. So in my mind, she's just like, she goes, the Batman doesn't, but, and she's waiting to see who it is before she finishes the line. So it could have been, but Jerry from accounting does, you know.
Jerry from accounting.
But,
Jeff.
Or maybe I knew all along. Does it really matter? What's important is that he understood. He believed in himself.
Well, now it's the
in
flying
the man of
scene.
decency and high ideals that I fell in love with and who loved me with all his heart. And they fly off towards the moon, and it shows him kind of flying right back in, and he's dressed as Superman now.
Oh, wow.
But it says...
Why?
It says, sometimes I think about how differently it could have turned out.
Oh.
How something as simple as shifting winds current might have... It's honestly, it's part of the same intro.
It's all in his brain.
The intro... No. This is her still. It's just the story.
Oh.
It's framed the same way
Okay.
at the begining as it's framed here.
Okay.
I just didn't read it word for
I
word
got you.
there.
Sure.
But she goes, I think about how differently it could have been, how it could have been. How something as simple as shifting wind current might have carried that rocket anywhere in the world. It could have been a Zulu chieftain that found him in a fiery crater, or a Chinese peasant. Why not a fascist dictator, or a Kansas farmer?
Okay.
Scenario after scenario. That's another Elseworld one we did. We did Superman Red Sun.
Yeah, we
where
did.
Superman landed in
we
Russia.
did. We sure
That
did.
one was a good one
That
too.
was a good one.
Scenario
No
after
propellers shooting out of people's
scenario unreels in my mind, and I panic at the mere thought that I might never have known him, that our troubled world might not have been denied her greatest hero. Inevitably, I laugh and push my foolish fantasies aside, secure in the knowledge that there's only one way it could have happened, only one series of events that could have given us Superman. But
Why
look
does
at
his face
Superman.
look weird? Oh, okay.
It's like a full body Superman suit
Yeah.
with no red undies.
No underwear. I can see his bulge.
It's just a full body suit
Huh. I don't like
with
this.
like a Spawn cape, kind of.
Yeah, I don't like the thing on his face.
There you go.
Well, that was wonderful. It was awesome until the propeller. It really was. It was
That's
very, very good.
I was reading it and
until
I was
then.
like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Whoops.
all right. There you go. Superman speeding bullets.
Freaking Lex Luthor.
I know. He's kind of the worst, right?
He always screws it up.
Well,
That last scene though does remind me of the flying scene from Superman.
yes,
the movie.
I'm with you there too over the phone.
Can you hear my thoughts? Can you?
Yes.
That's the goofiest part
It
of
is,
that
but
movie.
it's still good.
But it's still great.
All right. There you go.
That was
is
great.
our-
Good
well,
job.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thought we'd do something a little different. Don't know what we'll do next week. We'll figure it out when we do it.
Sure. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Merry Yule Miss.
Merry Yule log.
Log Miss. Fred.
Happy. Does anybody? You say Happy Thanksgiving. You don't say Merry Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Happy Thanksgiving.
I wonder what the.
But do
deal
people
is.
say Happy Christmas? Some people do.
I think it's an English thing. Like the UK says Happy Christmas. I'm pretty sure. Or they say Happy Birth of Father Christmas Day.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Tomorrow's Boxing Day.
I thought that was Canada.
I don't know what Boxing Day is.
I don't even.
I think it's just shit you put in boxes. Like you box everything
I
up.
think you do. Yeah,
I think that's
you're
what
right.
it really is.
I was always excited because I thought it had to do with actual the
Yeah,
sport boxing.
That's what
but
I
it
thought
doesn't.
too. But that's outlawed in Canada.
Is it really?
Yeah, they can't box. Yeah, if you punch somebody, you go to jail immediately.
That's a nice rule, actually.
But you got all the maple syrup you can drink.
In jail?
Yep.
Do you get all the maple syrup you can drink when you're not in jail?
No,
Oh, that's the catch-22, I guess.
it is a catch-22. There's a positive, but there's a big negative.
I got you. So there we go. That is. I don't
That was
know
the
what
most.
to say with that.
That was the most dismissing I got you I ever.
I didn't know what to say to that.
Yeah, got you, Mike. Sure. Yeah. Next time.
Oh man,
It's
we
good.
we appreciate. I cannot
We
speak.
appreciate you.
For listening as always. Make sure to check out Rogue Media Network and the Rogue Media family of podcasts.
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
And until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Golly God.
Pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about pros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.